TATTerbox with me, Megan Smith-Evans, Birmingham-based tattoo artist with 10 years of industry experience. This is the new podcast where we talk about the real side of tattooing, the art, the business, and the behind-the-scenes stories. I'll be joined by artists, clients, and people from across the industry for open and honest tattoo discussions. Today, I am joined by Kasi Firefly, who's been tattooing for over 16 years and works with me at Painted Lady Tattoo in Birmingham. We're going to be chatting about her journey, how her tattooing has evolved, and what it's really like to be in the industry for a long period of time, and whether it's important to have a niche in the tattoo industry, because that's something I think we've got in common.
Yeah.
So, I have known you for about 5 years now, but I've known of you for like 12 years.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
mad. Yeah, that's
like
mad.
when I started tattooing, Kasi Firefly was like a name that I knew of in the tattoo industry, for sure.
That's crazy, because I don't think I've ever seen myself in that kind of light. I've just always been that kind of person in the background. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard someone go, oh my God, Kasi Firefly.
To me, like, I think also the fact that you've got like a cool name in the tattoo industry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think that's a big thing, like Dawny Fantana, Kasi Firefly.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool name, and I think it's just something that like was iconic at the time.
Yeah, I really wanted, because obviously, kind of from my background and stuff, I didn't really want certain people kind of sniffing me out and wanting tattoos because I was tattooing. And it was just like, I was obsessed with Rob Zombie's, The Devil's Rejects at the time.
Okay.
And they're like the Firefly family, so that's when I was like, I'm going to call myself Kasi Firefly and have like this tattoo alter ego. And then it just stuck. And when people say to me like, oh my God, Kasi Firefly, or like, I've seen you or heard you work, I'm like, that's just crazy, because I don't see myself like that at all.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you chose it from that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is cool. Like, when I first started, I just didn't even think about doing something like that. But there's obviously some of the big names like have like a tattoo
Back
alter
then
ego.
as well, yeah, it was just the kind of given thing, but also my actual name is boring as fuck, so I don't really want that being like my tattoo name, because yeah, it's just not a cool name.
That makes sense. But you have become known as Kasi Firefly. Like, people know you as like Firefly online, don't
that's
they?
cool, yeah.
And that's how I like knew of you. So like, Painted Lady as a shop was this like cool place to be, and you just being part of that. I think like most people in Birmingham would have known who you are.
That's pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
How did you get into tattooing? What was your apprenticeship like? Where did you start?
So, for me, I kind of grew up with like a biker dad and things like that, so tattoos were always kind of a thing in my family. And it was just something I think I always just thought it'd be so cool to just tattoo as a career, just leave art on people. So I was about 14 when I set the goal in my head, like, I'm going to be a tattooist.
Yeah, I was 14 too.
Yeah, by the time I was 16 or 17, I'd gone to where my dad lives in Wales, and at the time he was, he had a friend called Celtic Phil, I think it was, and he was a tattooist.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, yeah, I'll let you tattoo me. And I did like 3 pretty shit black stars on him. And he was like, yeah, that's actually really good. You've never tattooed before? I was like, no, I'm fucking
How old were
16,
you then?
17. Yeah, 17. But like, again, without sounding so cheesy, as soon as I was doing it, I was like, I need to do this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is what I've got to do with my life.
Yeah.
And then like a year or two later, I met Ryan. And obviously his uncle was a tattooist as well. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mitch used to work in a few different shops. So being with him, and then I got like information from Mitch and like learning how to tattoo and stuff. And I managed to get an apprenticeship, because I just lost my job in retail. Found an apprenticeship / receptionist job on MySpace.
Really?
Yeah. For a place called Inspired at the time, which was in Lichfield.
Okay.
So Ryan drove me all the way to Lichfield with this big portfolio. I was 18, and I showed Craven and a guy called Judd. He's no longer with us anymore, but yeah, Judd was a really great mentor, to be fair, for like black and grey stuff. And yeah, as soon as I showed them my stuff, they were like, when do you want to start? And I was like,
really?
as of next week. So yeah, I was the receptionist little dog's body for a long time, and then doing like odd tattoos. But it was very much like, I'm kind of glad I got a little bit of the old school sort of stuff, so I had to be there before everybody else, set up, like clean everything, set up for everybody, break down for everybody, do stencils, do shop errands, get the food and all that sort of shit. And it wasn't until Craven left that the guy they got in to replace him just turned around and was like, right, get you a licence, you need to start tattooing. So I was just like, yep, I'm happy to do that.
Really?
And I got my licence in 2010, so yeah, either this month or May, can never remember which, I will have been tattooing for 16 years this year.
That is amazing.
It's crazy.
That's like a long time in the industry, isn't it? I think so much has changed in that time. So my apprenticeship, I think, was really similar. I had to be there first, had to be there last, like on the days that I was going to be there anyway, you know, doing all the cleaning, like doing the cups of teas, running errands, literally going out and getting their food, going to coffee like 3 times a day, all the stuff that, you know, they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And I think you would agree that the tattoo industry in that space of time has changed so much, because I've been in the tattoo industry like 12 years, so 4 years like less than you, and it is just a whole nother world now, isn't it?
I'd say everything, you know, 5 years ago from today and 5 years ago from then, everything is constantly changing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people these days, as we know firsthand from some people, they just get given it on a silver spoon. It's, okay, some people are good enough to have it like that, but then there are others that I don't feel like they deserve the opportunity to tattoo as soon as they have done. I feel like a lot of part of the old school apprenticeships were to toughen you out to make sure this is what you wanted to do, because if you couldn't do it, off you fuck. You haven't got what it takes to be a tattooist. And that is the problem with a lot of tattooists these days. They just think, oh yeah, I can tattoo, I'm so amazing. And I just think, if you'd have gone back to the old day, you probably wouldn't be here now, because you would have stuck out a regular apprenticeship. Some of the things they used to do to me, like they threatened to clink me to a bed and make me dig up worms to feed the fish in the fish tank, and I was like, I didn't do those things, but
Did you not?
No,
I would have been like, okay.
No, I was one of those people who was like, you're going to fucking make me. You're going to have to make me, because I'm not doing it. But I think that's why my boss liked me, because I wasn't like this frail little 18-year-old girl who was going to let people push her around. So, yeah. I'm much like it now. Like, if you've got something to say or want me to do something, like, say it to my face. But the chances are I'll tell you to fuck off.
Well, I think I definitely have always been like stubborn and had like a voice for myself, but if they asked me to do something for my apprenticeship, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's fine, I'll do that, yeah.
Well, I remember Wilf, who was the guy who I worked for at the time, it was his shop, who was like, oh, I'll have to send you outside to clean my bike one day, and I was like, do I clean it with rocks? And he was just looked at me like, are you joking? I was like, no.
Oh, I used to wash the
And
car.
he looked at me like, yeah, you're not cleaning my bike. I thought, good.
I used to actually wash a car.
No, I wouldn't. Like, I suppose if, like, I don't know, if it was them saying, like, clean my car or you'll never tattoo, then I would have done it. But the fact that there was never really, like, I think it was just to see how far they could push me.
Yeah.
And all that whole, like, get me a glass hammer.
Yeah,
go get tartan paint. Just fuck off.
I know,
I'm not an idiot.
Get bubbles for the spirit level.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, no.
I know.
No. Not at all.
I think there's got to be like a fine, there's a fine line, isn't there, between the old school tattooing and the things that we take forward, like the shop cleaning.
Yeah.
And then, like, stuff from now, which obviously you just can't bully people.
Yeah.
You can't just bully people.
Yeah.
As funny as it might seem to some people, you just can't do it.
I think, again, like, if we, not that we have an apprentice here anymore, but, like, if it was, like, a good chemistry,
yeah,
all in good jest, that's fine. But there are some times where you hear of it in other studios and you just think, you're just being a bully.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need.
I mean, I was made to do some pretty horrible stuff. I went into work one day and my shoes were soaking wet. And they were like, take your shoes off, we'll make you paper shoes. And they made me walk around with paper towels on my feet all day.
Oh my God, mate.
I know. Way. And then I was made to drink moths. So, like, they crumbled.
Is that why you're so scared of moths?
No, I was terrified of moths anyway. Got, like, a huge fear of moths anyway. And then they knew that. So, for a whole week, they collected moths and then put them in everything. So put them in my pencil case, put them like in my station, and then literally in my drink. And we all know I love a can of Coke.
Yeah.
And literally put it in my drink and then told me after.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's fucked. But then, without that's crossing the limit, making you drink it. But like the other stuff, again, it's like, to see whether you're going to break.
Yeah.
And be like, well, no, I don't want to do this. And leave. Yeah. Because if you are going to just leave, then they've wasted their time trying to teach you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I do get the little jokes. But when it's borderline abuse. I'd be just like, no.
I'd go home and I'd be like crying. I'd be like, I just need to carry on because I want to be a tattoo artist. Because like you, I was like, I wanted to be a tattooist since I was like 14. Watching like the call programs, and I was like, that is sick. Like that is the best job in the world. So I did just put up with it because it's hard to get an apprenticeship anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think back then for us as well, like girls, like when I first, like from 17 to 18, I was asking for apprenticeships everywhere.
Yeah.
And I got laughed at. I got told I was a girl, no good, not enough space, and all sorts of shit. And it weren't until I got to Lichfield that they were like, yeah, you know, you've got some potential. We'll see how you get on. And I'm really grateful that they did, because I wouldn't be here. I think I would have given up, especially because there are some people out there that are still very narrow-minded about women as tattooists and stuff as well. But no, it's obviously there's lots of female tattooists now.
I mean, we work in a predominantly female environment.
Mainly, nowadays it is just Painted Ladies plus Gary.
Sometimes Batch.
And sometimes Batch, yeah. And it's lovely, and I think like now as well, you know, women, we're just as good as men. Obviously, we're all different in our different ways being a tattooist, but women have the right to tattoo just as much as men.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that has kind of broken down a lot more now, especially with the like fine line industry coming through, you know. But yeah, I think apprenticeships, like, you've got to test people a little bit. I mean, we've had apprentices here where I asked them to clean the toilet once and they were like, absolutely not. Why would I clean the toilet? I was like, well, I've got to clean the toilet.
It's just a standard job, isn't it?
It's just a standard job if you work in the shop.
Do. Exactly. And if
you're
part of a team, so like the way I look at it as well is like, this isn't just my place of work. This is my second home.
Yeah, literally.
And I've got so much respect for it and the people that work here. So if you're going to come here and be disrespectful, I've got no time for you whatsoever. So something like a simple thing as cleaning the toilet, like, I just said, get fucked. Like, you're not tattooing if you can't clean the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to do some of the crap jobs because everyone's got to do it, haven't you?
Exactly. I mean, like, I've been tattooing for 16 years and I'm still cleaning toilets and sweeping the shop floors and mopping them, but I take pride in that because I want my shop and my co-workers to have the best.
Yeah, same. So obviously Painted Lady has gone through quite a few changes over the last, like, 18 months, really, year. And social media has like made a big impact. I know for me it's made a huge impact.
Yeah, you've took off.
I wouldn't say took off.
Well, you have, because you're booked for the rest of the year, so that's amazing. Like you say, how long you've been tattooing for and how hard you've worked. It's about fucking time.
Yeah, so. Like I do feel like there's definitely imposter syndrome there. Like, when I first joined here, I was like, I'm not worthy to be a painted lady. Like, these guys are, like, up here. And, like, this was, like, 4.5, 5 years ago. And I was like, why am I even, like, allowed to tattoo here? It's absolutely mad. But now I feel like I'm getting, like, a little bit more recognition and more comfortable with tattooing. And also, it's pushed me to tattoo better because I'm like, everything is online, everything is going to be seen. So now I feel like I am like, I feel like I should be here, you know.
Definitely.
But it's like taken some time to get there. But the shop has gone through like a lot of changes over the last like year. And I feel like you have spearheaded like a lot of that in terms of like the events that we're doing and stuff. And like, I don't know about you, but I feel like the events have brought everyone together so much more.
Definitely. Well, that was kind of like my idea, because obviously as of last year when we had some people leave, it was a bit scary.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, well, in a sense, there's less of us, so there's more of us to actually... There's less of us, so there's more of a chance of us making something work.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone's got shit going on outside their lives, like I'm a mum and things like that. So it is very difficult, but I think as of recently, like you say, the events we've done, it has brought us all together, and I feel like there's a really nice vibe going on, and we're all in the same like mindset. We all want to do really well. We all want to have fun, and it's been really good.
I think it's been great.
Glad it's really took off, and it's actually been successful, because obviously I can come up with these ideas, and most of the time they end up on their ass because I am just chatting shit. But when everyone was like, oh yeah, the movie thing, like the movie day was actually a really good idea, and the fact we've done it twice now, it's been successful.
And we're
all been really
more.
busy, and we're going to do more. I'm really chuffed, and we're actually quite proud of myself, because, like I say, most of my ideas just...
Because the movie thing, like, was your idea, And we wouldn't have been doing those things. But now, like, it's just so much fun all coming together. And like the flash days, we wouldn't have done that before. Well, we would have years ago.
Years ago. And I think I did mention doing it a year or so ago. But again, with everybody being so different, working different days, having different sort of projects, if you like, going on. Some people just couldn't meet to those sort of demands, really. So I think it's quite nice how now we can all. I mean, obviously there are days where like I can't probably do one sort of flash day or whatever, but we all try and work it so we can all do it.
Yeah, and really I like the fact that if one of us can't do it, we're all like, no, let's try and find another day that we can all
try
do.
and include everybody. Yeah. Well, it's just nice that we are all on that level and we're all very supportive of each other and stuff. So like, a lot of yourself, like you're very busy at the moment and you're passing on work to me and vice versa. So if there's something that I feel like I can't do and I'm getting an email, I'll send it to Rachel or Amy. So I feel like we're all looking after each other. We're all doing our bit for each other. And that's been really nice.
Talk about not being able to, if you think that you can't do a piece and you're passing it on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about styles, because I think that's something we've got in common in the tattoo industry.
Very versatile.
We are versatile artists.
Yeah.
We're not someone that's like niche down from the start and only does one thing. We cater for a lot of different styles.
Yeah.
Do you think that has helped you or hindered you in your tattoo career?
I think I got to a point at one stage and I was thinking, I hate doing this because I don't feel like there was anything that someone could look at and go, that's a Kasi Firefly piece, because it just looked like everybody else's stuff. And that got to me for a while, especially when we've had such big names here like Daryl and Nick and other people that are just so, like you say, so niche in what they do.
Yeah. And they do one thing.
And it was really upsetting to think like, why can't I just do what I want to do? But as well, I just think, back to my apprenticeship, doing all those different things, it challenges you in different ways that can also be put into other tattoos. So it might be shit at the time, but it's getting you somewhere later on. Yeah. So like even now I'm doing because I kind of went through a phase of doing lots of black work, black dot work and stuff like that as well. Yeah, ornamental stuff. And that was really fun for a while. And then I started getting loads of people asking me for colour and stuff again. So that's ended up
You're doing loads of colour at the moment,
loads of colour at the moment, but I will be honest, I love doing colour work because I feel like that's it's just more fun, isn't it? Watching your colours blend and seeing the piece come to life. Whereas, don't get me wrong, I love doing black and grey stuff, but that was nicer to do, I think, because of the simplicity of it. My brain didn't have to think so hard. It's just black, it's just dots, and it was nice to just quiet the noises. Whereas colour, like today, I'm a bit like, oh shit, this colour's not really going well with that colour, and maybe if I use this and blend that, and it's just more challenging. But I think, I don't want to say it's hindered me. I think it's just good to be more versatile, because then I can't say no to anybody. And being a mum, because this is the other thing, like back before I had kids, I wouldn't care if I wasn't busy, because it's just like, oh well, there's always next week. Whereas now, like, I'm like, shit, I've got kids to look after.
Yeah, you got to pay the bills.
Bills to pay. Yeah. So there are things that I'm like not overly excited to tattoo, but got a tattoo, and so long as I do it best to my ability and that person walks away happy, then I've done my job. I don't give a fuck what anyone else says.
No, I agree completely. This is something that I really struggled with as well. Like, growing up in the tattoo industry, like, I was 21 and I feel like I've grown as a person in the tattoo industry. And like you say, you've got these people around you that are doing like their own thing, and you're like, that's a that piece, and that's a that person's piece. I really struggled with the fact that, like, am I ever going to get to that? Because I actually struggle with my own art of having a style. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I work best to a brief. So I've always worked best to a brief.
Yes.
And, like, people give me their ideas and then I'll do something for them.
Yeah, from them.
But, so for a long time I was like, God, like, I really need to, like, niche down and have a style. And I was being told in my apprenticeship, you don't need to, like, you'll be able to survive forever if you can be, like, flexible.
Yeah.
And now I'm so glad I didn't niche down.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing all these amazing artists online that are literally quitting tattooing.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
They've got this one niche and they can't, like, it's not that they can't do other things, or it's just that they won't, or they're not known for it, so people don't know that they do it.
Yeah.
Or even, like, people going part-time, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that they're like failing the tattoo industry. It's just a really hard time for people at the moment. But I think if they were more versatile, then they would be surviving.
Yeah.
But then it's an argument of whether like you're so passionate about that style, whether you just want to do that and you would rather just do that and quit tattooing, or whether you'd just rather tattoo at all. And in my eyes, I would just rather tattoo.
Yeah, I'd rather tattoo.
Yeah.
Because this kind of then goes to, like, I've been asked loads of times, like, oh, would you ever open up your own studio? And a part of me, like, years ago, that was the goal.
Yeah.
Open up my own shop. And after working in a few studios and, you know, dealing with certain dramas and things like that, I was like, fuck no. I just want to tattoo. I enjoy tattooing and I love working with people. I don't want to go home and stress about so-and-so not being paid or, you know, rents and shit like that. So, no. And like you say, like, I'd rather tattoo anything than just give up tattooing. Because it's my life.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, I mean, I've been getting tattooed since I was 16, and when I look back at my life as well, like, I don't think I'd be who I am without them at all. Like, I don't, it's really weird.
I agree. People asking me at the moment, like, loads, will I ever open my own shop? I think the social media thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, people are asking me, like, nearly every day, you're like, you aren't going to get your own shop, or you're going to have your own space? And I'm like, absolutely not at the moment. It is like...
You've got it good, why would you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think people just see the money side of things. Like, I've even had tattooists message me saying, you're paying way too much, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm really not, actually, in the tattoo world.
Yeah, we've got it really good.
Yeah, I've got it so good. I live so close. I literally work in the best shop with, like, amazing people. I am not an idiot. Like, I am fine here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, ever since... So... Going back to my apprenticeship, Craven, who was like my mentor at the time, he was friends with Dawn, and that's how I got to meet Dawny. So he'd asked me to bring some machines down the one day so he could tattoo somebody. And I think there was quite a few of them here, like Leah, Joe, Harrison. So I was like, shit, this is a big deal. And when I went into the room to pass the machines over to Craven, he was like, oh, this is Dawn. And I was like, hello. Bye. When I walked, I was just like, what the fuck? So that was really crazy. And then a friend of mine as well was getting tattooed by Helen Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been tattooed by Helen.
Yeah, so I had most of my arm done and my chest and everything off Helen. And obviously when I was getting tattooed by Helen, I was talking to her about getting into tattooing and stuff, and she was giving me like a few pointers. And then once I was actually in like a studio and started tattooing and stuff, and then I started getting tattooed by Dawn. Dawn was like, oh, you're only on loan. You'll come work for me one day. And I was just like, that's crazy. That's not really going to happen. And then when it did, I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
Because Dawn and Helen were like on this pedestal for me. They were my idols.
Me too.
Because obviously not many female tattooists around at that time. So they were my idols, and I had one sleeve by Dawn, one sleeve by Helen. And then, like I poured myself into it because I wanted to be just like them. And I think one of the best things that happened to me was when I was leaving my studio to go to Skinny's, was that so many people had put in a good word for me there that some of the people I hadn't even met was just telling Al, like, you better hire Kasi, like, don't even look at anybody else's work, hire Kasi. And when I got there, he was like, yeah, you pretty much got the job. And I was like, what? And like, I was told that all these people had said all this stuff about me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is just crazy.
Well, word spreads in the tattoo industry. Everyone knows everyone.
It's fucking done off. And
so
then
even if it's good or drama, it's done it.
And then I was there for a few years before Dawn had opened up the studio around the corner and asked me if I wanted to do part-time. So I was part-time here for 2 years before I came here full-time. And just mental. Because this was my dream. Never thought I'd actually be here and sat here. But when anybody says to me, oh, would you work here? Would you open your own shop? I'm like, I'm dying here.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a little headstone where Kasi was here. I'm never going. If the shop's shut, I'd just quit tattooing.
I mean, there was a period of time last year that we thought it could potentially close.
There was a bit of a scare. I personally don't think it was going to close.
No,
I just think it was a bit of a scary point.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was just like, well, if it closes, then I'm done. I'm not tattooing.
I remember you saying, I was like, oh my God, like, that is extreme. But that's, like, how much you love it.
It's how much I love it. And, like, not that I've had bad experiences, because I've only really worked in 3 studios. I've not had the worst experiences in those studios, but coming here and having somebody like Dawn who was so understanding and so just happy for you to just be yourself, do what makes you happy, do what's comfortable for you, and she's been there for me for so much of everything in my life, like to having kids and tattooing. It's crazy, but she's like my mum.
Yeah.
She really is like my second mum. So that's another thing. I love her so much. I couldn't do that. I feel like I'd be betraying her if I went anywhere else. So I am happy to stay here indefinitely until my hands are no longer tattooing.
If anything had have happened, I would have moved, but I wouldn't have wanted to. Like I can't believe I even thought about moving. And I've spoken about that a lot of times now.
Yeah.
So that's all out in the open. And I was potentially thinking about it, but now I'm like, what? I'm an idiot. Like, what was I even thinking? I just went into panic.
Yeah,
I was panic mode.
Then, it was, like I say, it was all up in the air, but I think when I said to you, you've got it pretty good here. You would be silly to leave.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's your decision. We would have supported you because anybody that has come here and anybody that has left here, there's never been bad blood. We've always hoped for everybody to go on their next journey in the best way possible.
Yeah. And
I love that as well, that I've been here for so long. I've seen so many people come and go, and it is sad because, like I say, it's my second home. Dawn's like a mom. You lot are like brothers and sisters. So when someone's been here for so long and then leaves, it is quite sad. But then I'm always like super proud. Yeah. So like, I think when Zach left, that was
tough. Yeah.
That was tough, because me and Zach get on so well, and he again is like such a big character at the shop. It was a bit sad that we just thought, oh, this banter and this joyous, bubbly person isn't going to be here anymore. But again, I was just so proud of him to move on to the next shop. And I knew I even said to him before he even knew that he was going to get a job there, I was like, so did you get the job? And he was like, no, what are you on about? And I'm like, shut up. Come on. You got the job. And then when he turned around, I was like, oh, actually, I did get offered a job. I was like, well, if you don't take it, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. So, but I'm really glad he did. And already, like, how well his work's gone from here to there, amazing.
But that's like the environment that you're in as well, and soaking up like information from other artists and stuff. I think that's something that I do definitely miss from working in my own room, because obviously you work in the main studio downstairs. There's like 6 stations, 8 artists working there at any different time, and I do work on my own up here. So that's why, like, when I have like little breaks and stuff, I always try and come downstairs or talk to people and like look at what you're doing, because I think you need that, don't you? Like, you need to be soaking in other people's tattoo work as well.
Exactly. I mean, people are quite surprised that I've never done guest spots and stuff, but I think I'm comfortable. I don't want to be somewhere where I feel like I'm in the way or a burden, and that just flares up my anxiety and stuff. So I'm just like, absolutely not. But at least by being here, the amount of guest artists we have, and then, like I say, artists that come along and they stick around for a bit, I'm learning from them. I don't need to go to guest spots and stuff. Like, convention's a stressful thing, and that's about as far as I'll fucking go. But as a guest spot, I mean, how many of them that have left here and opened up their own studios, like Andrew and Keely and Nick and everybody, and they've probably said to me like, yeah, you should come do a guest spot, and they're like my friends, but I'm still like, I'm just going to be in the way. I'm just going to annoy everybody. Everyone's going to want to see the back end of me.
They wouldn't. But I also don't really see the point, unless you're looking to move, of doing a guest spot in the same area anyway. Yeah. Like, I've never really like seen the point of that. Like, I'm doing my first guest spot, like my first proper guest spot outside of Birmingham, to a place that I'm not looking to move to, like, in April. But beforehand, when I did a guest spot, it was because I wanted to move here.
I get you. Well, I think that's the main incentive for some people to do guest spots, is to put the feelers out there and see if this is somewhere where they'd like to go. Yeah. But then I do think for some people, so like, for instance, when like Daryl was here, Daryl would have people from all over the world come to get tattooed by him, and that was crazy. But like, I don't feel like I'm that high of a name that I would have people come from around the world to get tattooed by me. So what would be good if I did do a guest spot is if, say, I went to Daryl's shop, because it's in Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then maybe people would be more aware of me in Leeds and maybe come to me here, but I just, like, I'm too far in my career now to actually give a shit like that. Yeah. Like, I've got good regulars, I've got lovely new customers, and I'm busy as it is.
Yeah.
I don't need to promote myself out there too much. But like again, that to have that my name like out there, like it used to be a big thing back in the day. Like I've passed it now. Like I'm just happy to tattoo. I'm enjoying my career. I enjoy meeting new people and the challenges that they give me, and that's it. I don't think I'm ever going to be this massive name, and that's fine. I'm happy with that.
You were in like a lot of magazines at one point.
At one point, yeah, but I think again that was from being here, because obviously back in the day we'd all like do our pictures, Dawn would submit them, and they'd come in a magazine, and there was a few articles of Painted Lady, so there's like pictures of us and all of our work, which was really cool. But I think for me, we've been in magazines. I mean, the main thing for me was when I did the Tattoo and Toy Con in Cardiff. Mm-hmm. I was tattooing, in fact, you know the people I've tattooed today?
Oh, yeah.
The lad who organised that, it was him. I was tattooing him. I was doing like a stormtrooper on him, and the guy who was doing photography for it all had like took a picture and asked me a few questions. Didn't think anything of it, and then like when I think it was, I can't remember what magazine it was, but it came out and there was this tiny little photo of me on the front tattooing. I was like, I've made it on the cover of a tattoo magazine. I'm done. That's my goal.
It's like a career-defining moment.
It's only the tiniest picture, but then when you open it up, I've got it at home. But when you open it up, there's the same picture but bigger, and then there's like this little bit that he wrote saying that he really liked the thing that I was the design I was working on. And I was like, that's really cool.
That is cool. Yeah. See, like those things like that, you might not think about it as being like these big moments, but they are like big moments, because some people will never ever have that, you know. Yeah, and like tattoo magazines aren't even the big thing anymore. Like I remember I'd get one every week, and I'd be like trying to scour whose work was in it. So and when you showed me the other week that your stuff was in a magazine, I was like, that's so cool. Like, I think it is
proper
cool.
old school. It is cool.
I think that's like because I grew up in the old school, like tattooing, and like in the reception from the place that I used to work at, there was like tattoo magazines like on the table and stuff like that.
When I first started here, there was like racks of magazines that you could go through, and we've lost that a bit, and because ours is such a physical art form, I think it's good to still be looking at like print and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
But I think that's just the way the world's going, is that everything's technology, and everything's on a screen, so not how many people are picking up magazines these days. I don't really know if anyone still does. Like, magazines were the old advertisement for tattooists, but now it's like TikTok.
Would you want a tattoo for forever if you can?
If I could, I would.
Yeah.
But as it stands, my hands are getting shit. And I don't think, well, yeah, you've had carpal tunnel surgery. I reckon I'll probably need it in both my wrists as well. But who knows? Like I say, if it gets to the point, I've always said, if it gets to the point where I can't tattoo well, I need to stop.
Yeah.
And it's not because, obviously, I want to stop tattooing because I enjoy tattooing, but it's not fair on the customers.
Yeah.
Like, I would feel awful that somebody came to me expecting a good tattoo and I'm not capable of it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I think you'll just know, won't you, when you do your last tattoo, that will be your last one.
Yeah.
Not that I know when that will be, but...
I mean, you are young in, like, the industry,
I'm young
really,
in the industry, but again, like, even if, say my hands are fucked in 4 years, that's 20 years of tattooing that I've done.
Yeah.
I think that's a good run, but... Yeah, I'd like to tattoo for as long as possible, but at the same time, if I'm not capable of it, either someone should tell me, or I should know myself and I should stop, because I just don't want people walking around with bad tattoos.
I know.
Just for the sake of me still tattooing.
And you do, I mean, there's some local tattooists that are still going.
Yeah.
That
they should
probably
stop.
Shouldn't be going.
They should stop. There's a few very old tattooers that I know that should definitely fucking stop.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, and I think as well, there's too many tattooists at the moment. Because there's so many people that are, like I say, just picking up a machine and tattooing. But I don't know whether that's dying out a little bit now.
I don't know, because I think then you've got the advent of courses now coming in. So, like, you've got, like, fine line courses to learn how to tattoo in
Courses have always been around, though, because I remember going to... Was it Castle Link maybe? When I was asking for apprenticeships, and they're like, "Oh, we do like a course that's like $2,500,000," and I was just like,
"Really?
Absolutely not! I haven't got $2,500 to give you to teach me to tattoo." I mean, I was very fortunate again in the apprenticeship that I got, that I was essentially paid.
Yeah.
Paid
as you?
Yeah, I was paid as a receptionist,
okay.
And because it was really weird because I kind of did it through the job centre as well. So the job centre were paying them to have me there.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone successfully doing that.
How crazy is that? Yeah. So I was, the job centre had paid for me to work there. He was giving me like 130 quid a week, maybe.
No way.
Because he was trying to give me he was like, oh, we'll pay you like £100 a week. And I was like, well, it cost me £30 a week to get here. So from here to Lichfield on the train, I was like, I'm going to need at least 130. And he was like, okay, 130. And then, if you do bits for the guys, they'll tip you and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it started.
You are lucky.
Very lucky. But like I say, I was living, with my mum and that still. But my mum expected rent. So, I had to pay rent and stuff. And I was very lucky. But when it got to the point of me actually tattooing, I had to say to him, I need to earn more money, otherwise I'm fucking going. And then that's how it ended up going. I got more money, but then I got to a point where I needed more money. And I was just like, I'm not being paid enough for the work that I do. And then obviously Inspired came up and I was like, oh, that's closer to home. And it's a stepping stone into a busier shop, because where I was in Lichfield it's just fucking dead. Yeah. It was just dead. So a part of me is like, if I'd been in Skinny's from the start, which is a very busy studio, maybe I'd be further in my career talent-wise, if you know what I mean, like skills-wise, because it was more consistent, whereas there I was tattooing like 2 times a week, maybe.
Right, yeah.
So like I say, if I had more coming in, maybe I'd be further in my skill set than I am now.
Yeah. But then also, you probably wouldn't have got paid at all in that shop. Yep. So you never know.
Yeah, you got to look at all your positives and your negatives.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was really lucky. But I think anybody that pays for a course is just mental. Because I just think if you're working in a studio and you do like an apprentice, if people were to stick to more of an old school apprentice ways, we'd have more dedicated people tattooing and less like scratching fucking people out there as well. But then, like I say, there's so many good artists that are like tapping out and quitting because they're just not getting the work. It sounds scary, but then in the same sense, I'm kind of hoping that all those fucking scratchers are picking up on the same vibes, like they just can't make it out there, so they're just going to stop. But either way, that work will come back around, and I think that's why we're doing so well right now.
Yeah, I think so. Like, it is just a testament to how you can kind of stick it out as well.
Exactly, because like last year there was times before obviously we got to the point we did with like people leaving. I was like, I'm so dead. I'm gonna have to work at Mackey's, or I'm gonna have to start an OnlyFans.
But this week you've had like your best week.
This week has been like the best week I've had in probably like 10 years.
That's mad. That's incredible, isn't it?
Crazy, yeah.
It does show.
And it's been a weird week as well. So like, only really having like one or two people every day. Today's been busy because I've had like 4 people in, but how much that's amounted to me having the best week is just crazy.
I know. Well, I've gone from being the quietest I've ever been January last year to the busiest I've ever been in my entire life. Yeah. It is, and when you have those good weeks, it feels great, doesn't it?
Definitely. Well, it's swings and roundabouts for me as well, because again, in a couple of weeks' time, it's half term, so I haven't got childcare. And
so you work a bit less then?
I'm going to be working less. What money I've made this week is really, really good, but that's going to stretch. I'll let that stretch out. So,
Right, quick fire round.
Oh, fire round.
This is just a bit of fun to finish off.
Okay.
But a little quick fire. First tattoo you ever did?
The stars on Celtic Phil.
Oh God, 16, not in a shop.
16, 17. It was in a shop.
Oh, was it in a shop?
Yeah, he was a proper tattooist. Oh, okay. It was his studio, but then say proper tattooist, like he was cleaning needles in the sink.
Oh yeah,
that kind of studio back then. So that was my first tattoo. 3 black, very standard stars. Yeah,
love that. One thing you'd never tattoo again?
If I could never tattoo lettering again, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Just because I hate the pressure. Don't hate doing it. I just hate the pressure of getting the spelling right, because I have misspelled things many a times. But in my defence, I've always said to the customer, "Is this spelt right?" And they're going, "Yeah, that's right." And then they've gone away and they've gone, "Actually, it's wrong." And I'm like, "Well, that's your fucking fault, not mine. I made you double check. That's your problem."
I know, that stresses me out. I've spelt something wrong once, and in my defence, it was someone's handwriting that was brought to me, and it was spelt wrong in the handwriting.
That's not you.
Me out.
Well, so the one time, this is what really fucked me off. I tattooed this woman, and it was a you are, whatever. Said to her, "Are you sure this is the right way it's spelt?" Yeah, it's spelt that way. I was like, "Oh, okay, so long as you're sure." She was like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, "Oh, because I have spelt this word wrong before."
Oh my God.
And she was like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," laughing about it. I was like, yeah. Anyway, she went home, Matt had overheard. What was it you tattooed on her? I showed him, was like, you spelled that wrong. And I was like, did I really? He's like, yeah, you spelled the you are bit wrong. I was like, fuck's sake. Then I got a text message off the woman. I know you said to double check the spelling, and I know I did, but yeah, we've spelt it wrong. And I was just like,
yeah.
I was even telling you I'd spelt this wrong before, and I'm still spelling it wrong on you as I was doing it. That was the fucking worst. But she was very understandable about it.
Yeah.
She was this was before COVID, so she was meant to come back in during COVID measures to get it fixed, but I haven't seen her since now. No, so,
Someone else's problem.
Someone else's problem now, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me on TATTerbox. You have been great, and it's also been really nice to learn more about your history of tattooing, because we've worked together for years, and there's some things that I just didn't know.
I don't think we get down enough to sit and talk about, like, our past experiences, really.
And when we're working together, it's all just like fun and jokes.
It's there in the moment, isn't it? We don't talk about the past. But yeah, it's been quite nice to delve down memory lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
So thank
you for having me.
Join us next time on TATTerbox. Bye.
Bye.